Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
A major roadway through Troy is shut down right now as police shot a suspect. Glad you're with us here for Local 4 News at 6. That breaking news happening near the corner of Big Beaver and Rochester Road.
Local 4's Mara McDonald just arrived on the scene where investigators are working to figure out exactly what happened. Mara, we hear this started out as a traffic stop?
It sure did, Karen, and let me emphasize to you right now that what we know is preliminary. That said, take a look behind me. You can see that westbound Big Beaver is shut down right now. Here is the situation as we understand it right now. You see what looks like a blue Ford Escape over there? Police are telling us that that is believed to have been a stolen car or stolen SUV. They started a traffic stop, pulled that SUV over. They did a maneuver to box the SUV in. That's when they say the driver behind the wheel of the SUV started ramming other vehicles to get out, to get away. In the process of ramming, it appeared, according to police, that he was about to try and ram an officer who was on foot in the middle of the street with his car. They say that officer pulled his service weapon, fired, unclear how many shots were fired, but fired into that blue SUV, hitting the driver, we are told, in the upper body area. Now, police took the driver to the hospital. He is described as being in stable condition at this hour. We are also told there was a passenger in the seat of that stolen SUV. That passenger was treated here at the scene for what they're describing as minor injuries. I'm waiting to get more of an update from Troy PD, but right now, westbound Big Beaver near Rochester Road is completely shut down to traffic, so you can imagine this is creating quite an issue for rush hour. We're live in Troy. I'm Mara McDonald, Local 4.
All right, we'll check back with you. Thanks, Mara. Meantime, we are digging deeper tonight into a human trafficking operation that was busted in Detroit.
The investigation started in Royal Oak Township. MSP troopers listening to people talk there made them sort of connect the dots to a house in Detroit where we'll just say an awful, shocking discovery was made. Sean Lay live with the newest details on a very real, very harmful operation. Sean.
Devin, you're exactly right. We wanted to know more about this, and we're told what we're finding out. This was human sex trafficking going on inside and outside of that home. Here's how we know. Today we're learning details that not only were 6 women in that home held against their will, they were beaten by their captors and forced into sex acts, giving the money back to their captors. What is the latest?
So right now we finished up with our investigation after serving our search warrants. We made 4 arrests out of the people that were detained out on the scene. Those 4 were lodged at the Detroit Detention Center, so they'll be there until the prosecutor makes a decision on the rest of what's going on in the investigation. As far as the victims went, we had one that wanted immediate medical assistance as well as some services that we could provide to her. Our detectives were able to get that for her, so she was there. The other victims didn't want anything immediate, but they wanted a list of services that were available to get them out of that situation, so that was provided to them as well, and then they were released.
Lieutenant Mike Shaw with Michigan State Police with new information tonight about a very real case of human sex trafficking. 6 women, all over the age of 20, and each from a different part of Michigan. MSP says were held against their will. They were hooked on drugs and forced to engage in prostitution, given cash quotas that they had to make. The young women, mostly runaways, easily preyed upon, becoming addicted to narcotics. The evidence so far showing they were forced to engage in sex to make their captors cash.
They were beaten by these gentlemen. Beaten, yep. So they were not allowed to have cell phones. They were not allowed to have identification. They were kept in this house. They were required to make a certain amount of calls a day. So it was a very, very, very rough life.
Back here live. The most important part is the women are safe. 6 of them, they are receiving help now. And again, they are safe. Charges on the men could come as early as tomorrow. MSP, we asked them if this was part of any larger organization or ring in the region. They say no, this was one operation right there at that house in Detroit. And again, we'll be waiting for those charges tomorrow. Back to you.
We sure will. All right, Sean, more to come.
We'll be getting new reaction tonight to the breaking news of an arrest in the murder of a missing woman by the name of Dee Warner. Michigan State Police confirm someone is in custody right now, but they're not sharing any specific details. Warner disappeared from her Tipton home. It was back in April of 2021. We covered police searches for her body, which Her body has never been found, as far as we know. State police expect to release more information tomorrow after the suspect is arraigned. We are going to be talking to her family this evening, and we'll share that update with you when you join us tonight at 11.
A serious claim made against an attorney representing the mother of the Oxford school shooter. Shannon Smith has been defending Jennifer Crumbly against the involuntary manslaughter charges filed against her and her husband, James. The Oakland County prosecutor says Smith violated a gag order by putting confidential information in a court filing in order to generate headlines and paint the shooter as an unreliable witness. Now, that court filing claims the shooter gave a psychiatrist two differing accounts of whether he had asked his parents for psychological help. Smith claims the information was in the public domain, but a judge has ordered her to appear at a hearing on the matter next spring. Now, if she is found in contempt of court on this matter, Smith could end up facing jail time.
Well, this is one of the busiest days of the year for air travel. Check out the time-lapse video of the long lines over at Philadelphia International Airport. This was about 6 in the morning. Now, we rarely see backups quite that bad at Detroit Metro, but sometimes travelers end up causing delays for themselves. Help me, Hank. Hank Winchester, live at the airport tonight to help you avoid issues with security. Hank, what do you have for us?
Hey, Karen, good evening to you. Good evening, everybody. The great news, if you are flying, taking off tonight, there are no problems here at Detroit Metro. Take a live look behind me. It is smooth sailing. No cancellations, no delays, at least here from the Delta terminal. Now, here's the deal. If you are flying tomorrow, the day before Thanksgiving, or returning back here to Detroit or traveling on Sunday, understand Sunday expected to be the busiest travel day of the entire year. So tonight, important information from the TSA. It's expected to be one of the busiest travel times of the year, with thousands of travelers making their way through Detroit Metro Airport this holiday weekend. Hugh Johnson is traveling today from Detroit Metro down to see family in Atlanta. Did you look ahead before you got here to check the status of the flight?
Always check. I always try to be 2 hours ahead of time.
Yeah.
And, I always try to make sure that I got everything I need.
Yeah, so you can get through there, get through security, get to that flight. Let's take a look at the numbers. Between November 17th and the 26th, more than 850,000 people will travel through Detroit Metro. Nationally, more than 4.7 million will be flying this weekend. That's an almost 7% increase from last year. The TSA is ready, and some changes are being made to make the process a little easier for you.
With these CT x-rays, the great thing about it is you do not have to take any large electronics out of your bag. So it makes it very convenient as you're going through the screening process.
But the key is basic. It is to arrive as early as possible. Understand that TSA agents will be dealing with thousands of travelers at Metro alone. And Sunday expected to be the busiest travel day of the entire year.
It's very important to emphasize the importance, if you're traveling, to arrive early, at minimum 2 hours at the airport.
Back out here live, the security technology upgrades here at Metro. Great news for those of you that maybe travel with your laptop or an iPad. It's going to make getting through security a little bit quicker. Again, as the TSA said, and as we remind you all the time, getting here early, it is key. Also, hop online, check the app, make sure your flight is in fact still scheduled for takeoff. You'll remember all the travel nightmares and cancellations we dealt with, not only here in Detroit, but across the country last holiday season.
Yeah.
We're live here tonight at Detroit Metro. Hank Winchester. Karen, back to you.
All right, appreciate the advice. Thanks, Hank. Amazingly, some people still try to carry weapons right onto planes. Screeners at Metro Airport have detected 98 firearms in carry-ons so far this year, putting DTW on track to surpass last year's number of 108. If you feel the need to travel with a gun, it must be placed inside checked baggage in a hard-sided locked container and must be declared ahead of time with your airline. Special event this morning at the corner of Michigan and Trumbull.
A truck full of turkey dinners. The dinners were handed out at the annual Thanksgiving giveaway at the headquarters of Detroit PAL. That's right where Tiger Stadium once stood. The event was put on by Apex Leadership Academy, Tryon Solutions, and the Detroit chapter of former NFL players, which includes Michigan great Braylon Edwards. Braylon told us he's not just out there building up good karma during Ohio State week. Giving back means something to him.
I feel real grateful. You know, I think my parents, when I was growing up, they expressed the importance of giving back when you have it, even if you don't, giving time, effort, energy, and that's what we're here for, man. So it's great that we can put smiles on faces, see the cars drive by, see the people in there, and they're just so happy to be able to have this for the holidays, man. We're making people have a happy holiday, and to do it with friends and brothers and sisters, it's just a great feeling.
Sure is. An estimated 500 families receive turkey, dressing, cornbread, cranberry sauce, and more. All the good stuff.
And it was a little dreary and a little rainy out there when they were doing those handouts, but tonight, boy, it still looks like a gorgeous night.
Yeah, it kind of does. And we've got an improving forecast, fortunately, for Thanksgiving versus what it seemed to be, was looking like last week, Brian.
Yeah, that's right, Devin and Karen. A much improving forecast over the next couple of days with some sunshine on the way just in time for Thanksgiving. Exact Track 40 radar this evening. Rain over our northern counties from Waterford up toward Lapeer, as well as over in Howell. Some showers, then also in portions of Wayne County over by the airport heading toward downtown. But the good news, this rain winds down tonight and we start to dry things out heading into tomorrow. A very soggy picture right now over at Metro Airport, as Hank was saying. No delays out of Metro Airport as of right now. We're at 48 here in Detroit, 49 right now working into Ann Arbor, 45 working up into Lapeer, and 50 right now as you work down into Monroe. This system quickly moving off to the north and east, so any rain should be sticking around till before midnight tonight before we start to dry things out and temperatures drop into the 30s by the time we get to early tomorrow morning. We'll talk about that sunshine for Thanksgiving Thursday and some snow on the way by the end of the weekend. The details in your full 4-1 forecast coming up in just a few minutes.